The Miami Heat just lost another very crucial game to their NBA season, and this time it came at home to the hands of the Golden State Warriors. Now, there's a lot of different factors going on during this game, and I'm here to break them all down on this episode of Heat Digest, where we create daily Miami Heat content. So if that interests you, subscribe to the channel, as 85% of you guys currently watching this video are not currently subscribed. We are on the road to 1,200 subscribers. We appreciate all your support. We do notice all of it, so thank you. Now go down, click the subscribe button, and let's get to that goal of 1,200. Thanks again. Now let's get to it and break down this absolutely defeating loss for the Miami Heat, this time to the hands of the Golden State Warriors. Now, for the Miami Heat, this game started pretty well. Now, that is in the first half, that is, and Bam Adebayo was really the leader, and the reason we were being led by Bam Adebayo was due to the fact that we once again were without a lot of talent, and this time, once again, this post game is starting with an update on the injury report, as a few things are different. Kevin Love has been moved to out. He was reevaluated today, March 26th, and was listed as out. Jimmy Butler also missed another game. This time he hasn't missed a game in about a week or so. Tonight he did miss another game due to illness, and we were without our leading scorer, Jimmy Butler. Everyone else, Tyler Herro once again was ruled out, but it seems like he was reevaluated, as the ESPN injury report has been altered, and it seems like he's now going day to day until listed either as active or out. It seems like tonight he was listed as out once again, as it is shown below, and obviously he did not play tonight. For Duncan Robinson, once again missed tonight's game with back discomfort. Once again, unfortunately, the Miami Heat without four key players, obviously Josh Richardson as well, but again, we will not see him for the rest of the season. Miami just without the offensive firepower that they really need. Here's the box score for the Miami Heat. And yes, they had some good performances, if you will, from a handful of players, but once again, simply just not enough. Bam Adebayo came out in the first half, especially in the first quarter, and he was dominant. It felt like every time down the floor, whenever Miami got into a half-court set, Bam Adebayo was at the focal point of the offense for the Miami Heat, and things really, really worked. In the first half, he had a plus-minus of +8. He simply dominated the basketball, as not only did he play very well in the first half, but he really led and set the tone for the Miami Heat due to the fact that we were without so many lethal options. Yes, we still did have Terry Rozier. Jovic did get another start due to Butler's absence. Patty Mills once again did start in replace of Tyler Herro / Duncan Robinson, whatever guard is available and active. He did not play a lot, but once again, a lot of the offensive load, all of the pressure really put on Bam Adebayo, who did finish with 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. I will say the first half and the second half were two very different games for the Miami Heat, being led by Bam Adebayo, and we have to give credit to the Golden State Warriors due to the fact that not only did they come out after being down 2 at halftime, after watching and witnessing Bam Adebayo really come out and dominate not only their defense, but really the offensive possessions for the Miami Heat. They came out and made it extremely difficult for Bam Adebayo in that second half. He shot 2 of 3 in the third quarter. Yes, extremely efficient, but they made it extremely hard for him to catch the ball and really in a good position where he was able to get up a good shot that he felt comfortable in. And then in the fourth, he was really abysmal, as the entire Miami Heat team was, as Bam shot 2 of 7 alone in the fourth quarter. Not the greatest performance from Bam Adebayo in the second half, but I feel like it had a lot to do with the fact the amount of pressure placed on his shoulders due to the lack of offensive firepower with the amount of injuries to Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, and Kevin Love. And then for the rest of the starting five and the rest of the box score, the key points would be Terry Rozier, who was a bit aggressive, but once again, not extremely efficient. 7 of 18 from the field, including 1 of 6 from behind the three-point line. He did not attempt a free throw in the 4 quarters of basketball, while providing 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, with a plus-minus of -15. Hawkes getting another start due to the absence of Jimmy Butler, provided 12 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist, with a plus-minus of -24. Not Hawkes' best game, as he shot 40% from the field, 4 of 10, including 1 of 4 from behind the three-point line and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Now, the Miami Heat did not shoot a free throw attempt until midway through the third quarter, which is just ridiculous to think about, as with Jimmy Butler active and on the floor, he is constantly getting to the free throw line, really slowing down the offensive possessions and really the game overall for the Miami Heat whenever he is on the floor, due to his ability to get to the free throw line really at will. And tonight, obviously, without Jimmy Butler, we did not see a lot of that. Have to give credit where it's due. Haywood Highsmith has been phenomenal all for the last 2 games. For the last 72 hours, he has really been unconscious. Tonight, he really picked off right where he left off. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals, playing very good defense coming off the bench. He did earn himself 30 minutes due to his play. He shot 6 of 7, 3 of 3 from behind the three-point line, and once again, another player for the Miami Heat playing good minutes and not attempting a free throw shot. Haywood Highsmith really picking up for the lack of offense that we did have, shooting such a high percentage over the last 2 games. But again, Haywood Highsmith is not going to be the leading factor on the offensive end for a successful and high-end offense for a good NBA team. So once again, losing a lot of firepower here with the amount of injuries we had, and it was felt severely for the Miami Heat. If we look at the team stats, things were really back and forth the entire first half of this game, and then once the second half started, it was really abysmal for the Miami Heat. And if we look here at the scoring breakdown by quarter, the Miami Heat barely broke 30 points scored in the second half alone. Really, there was a lot of points scored in garbage time for the Miami Heat, and that's where the last 7 points came from for the Miami Heat. But again, we only had 30 total points scored in the third quarter, and then we had 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and we only had 30 points scored in the second half. Again, you've heard me say this a lot against when we do have bad losses, and it's due to explicit things like a surplus of turnovers, especially in a specific quarter, or when we get dominated on the glass. And tonight, you're going to hear me say it again, we will never beat any good team, let alone teams like the Hornets or any of these really, really bad teams like the Nets, the Raptors, the Hornets, the Wizards, or even the Pistons. Like, these are bottom feeders, including the Bulls, the 76ers, Atlanta, let alone a good Western Conference team that is competitive out in the Western Conference. When we score 30 points in really the entire second half, yes, I know we scored 37, but again, 7 of those points came with the last 3 minutes and 45 seconds of the fourth quarter. Absolutely unexcusable for the Miami Heat, and a lot of it had to do with Bam Adebayo not being extremely efficient, let alone getting baskets in the fourth quarter and really the second half overall. And again, that all comes down to the fact that the amount of pressure placed on Bam Adebayo after that first half of basketball was probably just too immense for him and really the Miami Heat to be able to stay active and compete in this basketball game, as the Golden State Warriors did a hell of a job making it difficult for Bam Adebayo and the rest of this Miami Heat team to score, especially when Bam is at the forefront of the offense and really getting things going. As Terry Rozier, once again, as he was aggressive, but again, not able to get all the shots going, especially from behind the three-point line. We have to give credit, once again, to the Golden State Warriors, not only for the defense they played, especially in the stretch of the second half, but the offensive balance that they had through this entire game. We were worried about Steph Curry. He shot 3 of 10 from behind the three-point line, and normally when we see stats like that from Steph Curry, we think that teams can beat this Golden State Warrior team. Not tonight, for a multitude of reasons, one of them being the fact that not only Klay Thompson got off, but Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga, all three did their thing tonight on the offensive end. Klay Thompson, through stretches of that first half and really up till the halfway point of the third quarter, seemed like he could have went for 50 tonight, due to the fact that he was playing in small 5 to 6 minute spurts, and whenever he was on the floor, he was making the correct basketball shot. There was really only 1 or 2 times tonight where you could question his shot selection, and it really showed, as he had 28 points, the leading scorer for the game and for the Golden State Warriors. 5 rebounds and 2 assists, while shooting 11 of 20 from the field, including 6 of 14 from behind the three-point line. Curry, like I mentioned, 3 of 10 from behind the three-point line, 7 of 15 overall, provided 17 points and 6 rebounds. And then Wiggins and Kuminga, adding 17 points from Wiggins and 18 points from Kuminga, while being extremely efficient. Kuminga shot 8 of 13, and Wiggins shot 7 of 12. Extremely efficient basketball from a good Golden State Warriors team, just not a great team, especially in the Western Conference where it is so competitive. And once again, the Miami Heat drop another crucial game, especially for them in this Eastern Conference standings. Thankfully, the Philadelphia 76ers lost their last game, so with this loss, we once again are tied in the Eastern Conference standings with the Philadelphia 76ers at 39 and 33, 18 games back in a full 1.5 games back from the 6th-seeded Indiana Pacers. We are just shooting ourselves in the foot with these bad losses to teams like the Golden State Warriors. And yes, it's not all of our fault due to the fact that we are so short-handed and we have so much offensive firepower sitting on the bench due to injury. So it's just so mind-boggling and infuriating to watch for the Miami Heat, especially when you know they have the capabilities to really go out there and be a good basketball team, not only defending against the Eastern Conference teams, but against these Western Conference teams. And yes, I know the Golden State Warriors are not a top seed by any means in the West, but they are competing for a play-in spot, and they are a very competitive basketball team that will give really anyone problems due to the fact of the way they play basketball night in and night out. And tonight, their defense showed up, which is very unlike them due to the fact that they play no defense, it seems like, and without the amount of offensive firepower the Miami Heat were without, it feels like that the defense for the Golden State Warriors, that may have not been great, but it was good enough against a bad offense, again, due to the fact of what we didn't have in Miami. So they looked really good on the defensive end. Again, it's due to the fact that the Miami Heat did not have a lot of offensive firepower. Now, here are the next 4 games for the Miami Heat, 3 of them coming from Eastern Conference teams. The first one coming at home against the only Western team in the next 4 games, the Portland Trail Blazers, a game the Miami Heat absolutely must win. We cannot drop games to teams on the same level as the Portland Trail Blazers, and that goes for the next game after the game in 2 days on Friday night, or 3 days, on Friday night at home against the Portland Trail Blazers before going on the road on Sunday night playing at Washington, a game that we lost against a team that we lost to just recently in the last month. It cannot happen. We cannot lose to teams in the Washington Wizards, who are literally 14-58 on the NBA season, 43 games back from the first spot. Absolutely abysmal type team the Washington Wizards are, and again, we did lose to them, and we cannot lose to them coming up due to the fact not only for the Eastern Conference race, but for moral reasons and momentum reasons. This is a must-win game for the Miami Heat before hosting the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers, 2 more massive games with Eastern Conference playoff implications. I cannot wait to see how things go. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought the bright point for the Miami Heat was, and let me know how big of a factor you think or how good the Miami Heat's offense will look when we get some of these big pieces back on the offensive end. That'll be it for this episode of Heat Digest. Thanks for watching again. Remember to subscribe to the channel as we're on the road to 1,200 subscribers. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you on the next episode.